Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our Crusader Kings 2 Fall of the Western Roman Empire campaign. So full disclosure, before we get started today, I did sort of cheat a little bit. Uh, there was an issue of betrothals for my nephew's two children. So my nephew, Remus Nepos, who is currently my heir and the Vicar of Italy, because he is the Vicar of Italy and not my direct or not my vassal at all, I can't control what he does with his children. And so he was going to marry his daughter off to some worthless character who was the son of, one of my vassals or something. And then he was going to marry his son to some girl who was kind of useless. And so there was really only two ways I could come up with to resolve the solution. And the first one I tried, it felt really gamey, was attempting to assassinate well, I can't assassinate myself, but trying to get myself killed before they came of age and married. And it, again, felt really gamey. It was kind of stupid, and I wasn't really able to pull it off in a satisfactory way. So I scrapped those episodes, or that episode, and what I did instead is I loaded up the save from what was going to be the beginning of this playthrough, because I did do a little bit of other work off camera in terms of just handing out titles and whatnot that I'll catch you guys up on in a second. So I loaded up that save, but I loaded it as Remus Nepos rather than Julius Nepos, and the first thing I did was fix his awful haircut and facial hair, so he looks like a fairly normal human being now. And then the second thing I did, and you won't be able to see it yet because I don't think they've gone through, but I chose better matches for his children. So Princess Juliana is going to matrilineally, I'll show you guys when they pop up because it'll be easier to, run you through the choices I made when you can actually see what they were. But I don't really feel like that's true cheating, because all I did was make a decision that he should have made himself. So he should have picked the best matches for his children, and because the AI is really dumb, he didn't effectively do that. So he should have done it. I just did it better for him. It's not like I sabotaged anybody, or like I could have gone in and tried to kill myself that way. But again, I didn't want to game the system or anything to make this happen, and so I did it that way. Hopefully that doesn't bother anybody. I just picked better matches for his children that are eventually going to be my potential heirs. So yeah, the other thing that happened off camera, and this was more straightforward, is I handed out a bunch of titles. The big ones are this guy is now a governor, the equivalent of a duke, essentially, in this area here. And then down here, so our friend here unseated the guy I gave this particular province to. So that guy ended up back in my court. I ended up awarding him with Liguria here, and actually gave him the governorship because, where is he? This guy here I wasn't able to get rid of entirely. I was able to, through taking a lot of relationship hits, get rid of most of his titles, including the governorship. But it would have been quite a few hits to my relationship with everybody, more than I wanted to deal with, to get rid of this last one. I felt that, it was fine. I've put this guy in a position of power. He holds the province of Liguria as well as the the prefecture as well as the province. So he's the prefect of Liguria and also the governor of the whole thing. So this guy isn't even my direct vassal anymore. I don't think he'll be as much of a problem now. And then the other thing is I did something similar with the previous Prince Archbishop that was here. So we removed him entirely. I put this guy in his place and gave this guy the Prince Archbishopship of Flaminia, but he's based in Ravenna. And he just happened to be some random guy in my court that was really good at learning. he wasn't even a priest or a monk, and he was married, so I think he's probably going to end up not married anymore. But yeah, so he's in that spot now, and he's very loyal to me because of all the stuff I just gave him. So that's good. Yes, I've managed to get my domain size down considerably. I managed to get my vassal limit way down. And the reason, or the way I got my domain size down was I gave away everything except for this little bit here. So this is in the province of Salonia. Everything in Dalmatia or Dalmatia that wasn't in Salonia, I gave away. So everything in Anduatonia is no longer mine. And I gave these to just random people I came across that were willing to join my court and were fairly loyal. And so that's why the time is advanced slightly, is because I had to first invite them, get them here, and then give them land. But we're in a much better spot than we were at the end of last episode, so people shouldn't be hating me for having too many titles or anything. I don't think I have too many duchy level ones. Yeah, I only have the 2. That's why I had to get rid of Anduatonia. It wasn't a very lucrative title to be holding. None of these are particularly wealthy provinces. So I kept the wealthy ones in this area that I want to make my sort of ancestral home. And then the other one I kept is Latium, which is, of course, where Rome is. And so I now hold Rome, Venice, and Mediolanum or Milan, the 3 big provinces in Italy, as well as my little ancestral home here. So I think, again, we're much better off. So let's go ahead and advance the clock a little bit. I'm going to go at 2x, and then at the first opportunity, I'm going to walk you guys through the new betrothals, and they just popped up. So I think this is a much better match for her. We managed to set up a matrilineal betrothal with Prince Ulfila of Italy. So we have a princess marrying a prince rather than, random kid number 3. And he's not a terrible character. I mean, it would be nice if he had more double-digit skills at 15, but he's not terrible as he is now. And he hasn't gotten his, education trait yet, so he could still potentially be quite a bit better than this. He's also lustful, which means they're probably going to have above average number of children. And then the reason I chose him beside all that is he has a ton of claims. And so in his lifetime, as long as we press these through war, he can potentially pass them on to their children. And some of these are fairly big, claims here. So definitely worth, trying to go after. Then her brother, Prince Remus, apparently that one hasn't gone through yet, so let's give it a bit more time. Is it going to? Also, there's a war happening here to uproot, I think, this guy right here. So this temple is currently being held by a high chief who is a Germanic pagan. And so all of the Christian lords in this duchy or prefecture, province? I don't remember. I think province are rising up to throw him out. There's nothing I can do about it, but I don't particularly mind them doing that. It's, in fact, probably better for us that they do. So, yeah, that's happening. I did put a betrothal through for this kid. I don't know when it's going to happen. There it is. So, she is... I don't know how to pronounce that. She's North Germanic, so basically Scandinavian. Her religion will be a problem. We'll have to try to get her to convert. Pretty good character, though. At 9 years old, almost double digits and everything. And I chose her because she's a genius. His mother is also a genius. Her, the queen. And so my hope is that with his mother being a genius and his wife being a genius, there is a better chance of all of their children being geniuses. And because this kid could potentially end up being the player character down the line, if he has really good children, then it's easier on me to just continue that lineage instead of trying to branch off from it like we had to do with Vicar Julius's kids, because they were all terrible. And so yeah, that's where we are right now. Let's get things rolling a bit, and we will cross our fingers that no more civil wars happen today. I think I've had enough of them for a while. Also, just to address some stuff that keeps coming up in the comments, I can't just make a Kingdom of Italy title. That's not just something I can do out of nowhere. There is a title here, so the de jure Kingdom of Italy, but I am nowhere near the requirements to create that title, so I can't do it. Governor Romanus of Pannonia Inferior has inherited... Oh, somebody died. Oh no, Honorius the Rough died. Comatose in bed, that's a shame. This was the guy that I basically brought up from nothing. I think he started a peasant revolt or something that was harassing one of the enemy factions in our civil war, and so I decided to reward him for that. And eventually he became, I guess, the equivalent of, yeah, governor or duke in my kingdom. He did have a son, and that son is now the governor of this. I am his heir, so if I wanted that title to come back to me, I could try to assassinate him or something, but I don't necessarily need to do that. As long as he doesn't become a problem, I won't even need to consider it. But if he does, that's something that we could do. So let's keep things moving. That's a shame, though. I liked that character. It was kind of an interesting little story that just, you know, sort of happened in this playthrough. And I like those. The sort of stories that naturally tell themselves in these games is one of the biggest draws for me. And so I always enjoy when those happen in my playthroughs. So I'm going to keep an eye on this as well, because I'm worried he's going to... Uh-oh. Oh, no, that's what that whole war was about. So they overthrew this guy, and they're going to put a Christian in charge of that temple now, I would think. But, okay, anyways. I am worried that he is going to try to overwrite these betrothals. I don't know why he would. They're far, far better choices than the ones he made. So... he shouldn't, but he is an idiot, so yeah. Let's see, we still have prisoners. Let him rot. I think I forgot to ransom some people. Let's take care of that real quick. But I did, for the most part, deal with the prisoners that were in here. So that was this guy. Let's see, you have a wife and children. I'll let you go. For a small fee. Okay, you're going to pay your own ransom of 70 gold? Yeah, I'll do that. Make that happen. Let's see. Oh. Can I revoke your title? I can. Yeah, we'll revoke that then. And then if you want to pay a ransom or have somebody else pay it, that's fine. 46 gold for him. Nice. I'll have to see who I can give this to. I don't want to hold on to it myself. But I did invite more people than I had territories to give, so I should have people on deck waiting for land. So there's two out of the way, and then we have this guy, who doesn't appear to be anybody of consequence, right? Yeah, as far as I can tell. He isn't holding land, so I'm not going to revoke it. I don't know why I bothered to do that. I could have done it from that screen. I'll ransom him for the 10, and then Antonius here. I guess I'll ransom you, just because my worst enemy is going to have to pay it. Oh, he's going to make you pay it himself. Well, for 25, sure. Why not? But yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on those betrothals. I am concerned that he's going to cancel them and try to reform the old ones or something. I really hope he doesn't. He will take relationship hits with the people that they're set up with if he does, so... he would be unwise to do it for many reasons, but that doesn't mean he won't. So I'll check in on that intermittently. Actually, one thing I should look at is when are they valid? So she's 15 right now. She'll be 16 in September of this year. He is also 15, and he'll be 16 in July of this year. So that marriage will happen by the end of 540, so that'll be locked in fairly soon. And then the kid here, the boy, is 12. And so he'll turn 16 at the start of 544. She's 9, so they have a longer way to go. But who knows, by then Remus here might be the player character. Oh, they sacrificed Elvisus to their gods. Okay. Well, I don't even know or care about you, so... I mean, it's a shame, but I don't really care. We're a terrible character, though. Oh, right, I need to give away some land. I'm gonna... Sorry for all the pauses here, but I need to get rid of this before people start disliking me for having too many territories again. So... Who do we got? 38. I'll need to find you a wife. Simon... You're a bit old. Do you have children? No. If you had children, I'd give it to you. This guy here. Yeah, I don't see why not. Is there anybody slightly more worthy? You're already married, and... Yeah, I'll just give it to you. So that's... Let's start with an L. There you go. Congratulations. Okay, so he's in charge of that now. I have an inheritance warning. His heir is this guy whose liege is that guy. Okay. Well, hopefully by then that won't be a problem, or hopefully he just has some children and then it won't be an issue. But yeah, so I did mention, of course, I can't create this title. I only have 36% of what I would need to do it, so I can't create that title, which means I can't get de jure claim on these through it. And the only other way to go about that, actually I don't even know if this kind of qualifies in terms of de jure territory, so we'd probably want to just destroy that. Okay, good. We converted somebody. Fantastic. But yeah, the point is, I don't have the ability to grab these peacefully, which is unfortunate. Very unfortunate. So, we'll probably have to wait until Remus becomes king. That will give us this and put us one step closer to having what we need. And then he has a claim on... he actually doesn't have... Well, he does have a claim on this. And so maybe through the Diocese of Italy we can take that either peacefully or at least do it without using the reconquest method of going to war, because that costs me a fortune every time we do it. So it would be preferable if we could avoid that. But again, that all kind of hinges on him becoming ruler, and I don't know how long Julius plans to live for here, but he's already 59. I'm going to speed things up a little bit, because nothing is happening, so may as well move it along. How are you doing? You're only a Prince Bishop. I was hoping to make you a Prince Archbishop, but unfortunately I couldn't, because you were already landed there, and I couldn't give you this title without causing a whole lot of strife. So, I'd like for him to move up in the religious realm, but I don't think that's going to happen. So this girl came of age. Let's see, who are your parents? Vespasian and Constantina. Nobody really important. And let's see, you're now known as the Hammer. Okay. Right, so he's the guy I gave this governorship to. And despite being craven, apparently he is known as the Hammer. Interesting. Let's see, your heir is your... Who is this guy? He's not your brother. Interesting. Is it your... Oh, it's your father. Right? Yeah, it's your father. Okay, fair enough, as long as your father's not holding anything else. Or is he? No, no. Okay. He's a vassal of somebody up there. But not a ruler himself. Patience is a virtue, but sometimes it gets on my nerves. My kinsman Remus never loses his temper, always waiting patiently for a chance to retaliate. That's a good thing. Good, I cannot abide recklessness. So not only is that going to give him +1 intrigue, but it'll give him patient, which gives him 1 intrigue, 1 diplomacy, basically 1 to everything except for martial skill. But it does give him +20 defense, so it does make him better as a commander, just not through this. And he already has pretty decent martial skill. So yeah, definitely. Definitely worth it there. I'm really hoping that he turns out to be a good character. He's getting there, but at 13 I was hoping he'd be a little bit further along. And so we can only hope that he gets a really good educational trait. Ooh, some free piety, I'll take it. Faction disbanded, and our knowledge of cavalry is increased. Yeah, okay. Well, you two need to get busy. She's not pregnant or anything, but hopefully that changes soon. Because I don't want to have to worry about vassal inheritance. It's unfortunate that his brother is landed somewhere else. You've inherited what from who? Let's see. Regium. This. Okay. Apparently your brother was holding it previously. That's fine. You have a child, so as long as that lineage is secure, I'm not really that concerned about it. She left my court. Wonder why that was. Did the King of Macedon die? Yes. Yes, he did. And so I'm surprised that you don't... I didn't fire you. You left. Can I send you a gift at a reasonable sum? That's a lot of money. But yeah, this guy was my my Magister Militum until apparently a second ago. And he is now the King of Macedonia. So who are we going to replace him with? Let's see, we have the Hammer here. I'll put him in charge. We'll have him training troops where his cravenness won't get in the way. Apparently my Frumentarius is gone too. That's interesting. Well, Agrippa, you're pretty well suited to the task. And I'm going to have you scheming in my capital, which should move fairly soon, but I'm not going to worry about that now. We'll let him scheme in the capital, and hopefully root out anything being plotted against me. Eventually we will need to move the capital Rome, though, because I can't found or reestablish the empire without doing that. So it's going to have to move there at some point. Maybe when Remus takes over, he'll decide that that's the thing that needs to be done. I feel like he would be less attached to Dalmatia as opposed to Julius, who might be fairly attached to it, because that's where he started his kingdom and everything. You're trying to fabricate a claim. Can I just ask you not to? I don't need plots getting handed, or excuse me, claims getting handed around, and if you could maybe not kill people, that'd be great. Nope. Not gonna listen. Whatever, just close it all. Okay, 3 piety for it being a beautiful day outside. Let's jump over here, and I can go through the known plots and see which ones I'm able to actually affect. And it looks like there are a couple. More than I was expecting, actually. But I don't want random people dying and titles changing hands and stuff. It just creates a mess for me to have to figure out. And, you know, people, if their inheritance isn't well established, then it can create even more problems for me. So it's generally better that things just stay where they are unless there's somebody specific that I want dead. In which case, it's usually easier for me to assassinate them myself. So let's get rid of all that, if you guys don't mind. There's an awful lot of plotting going on here. Oh, and it's 5:41. I wasn't really paying attention there. Let's check in here. She came of age, and she is married to Prince Ulfila. Perfect. And that is matrilineal, so that worked out. He became a brilliant strategist, so he is a pretty solid commander. Not much of a diplomat, though. Decent at stewardship and decent at intrigue, and she became a brilliant strategist as well. Nearly double digits in everything except for learning. She would make a great ruler, actually. I wish she was a little bit more of a diplomat and less of a general, but, you know, that's how her skills shook out, and she's pretty solid, all things considered. She's also pregnant, so they're already going to have a child. That's something to keep in mind, because if this kid ends up not being well suited to the throne, well, maybe he disappears. We will see. We will certainly see. Oops. But, yeah, it's always nice to have a plan B. And in this case, our plan B would be a fairly solid plan A, so I am very happy with that. This kid also grew up here. Cassius II. His heir is Remus the Hammer. Apparently everybody's the Hammer now. He's formed an alliance. Okay. You're already 44. I'm kind of concerned. I need you to die soon. I hate to say that, but if he lives too long, all of those claims that we worked so hard to get our hands on will be for nothing. Another person being sacrificed here. What is going on with you? So over here, his people keep getting imprisoned and sacrificed. And so I'm very curious as to why. They are sharing a border with some Germanic pagans, the Gepids. And you're not at war with them or anything. But I can't check that now. I'm curious if it is these guys that are doing it. You're currently working on a claim there. I don't think we have one here. Do we? No, we do. I would have to declare war on them as a whole, though, to make that happen. So I need to be careful. Am I still threatening? Yes. I need to let that bleed off because there is a non-aggression pact against me, I think. Nobody would join his side initially, though. Huh. Or I could just go for that whole piece, but I don't see a point to that. Is that the whole piece? I can't tell. This is the only thing I see highlighted in blue. But I only really want these two. Is it worth going to war right now, though? 2.2 thousand. What's it saying? I have 9,000? Okay. And actually, I could have closer to 9,500. That's not considering my legion either. It's definitely a winnable war. And I could leave all my vassals' troops behind so I don't upset them. But I would have to relieve you of that position because you're a Germanic pagan. And just going to cause problems for me. Do I want to do that? Is that going to create other issues for me? I feel like it probably isn't. Let's go ahead and declare war to claim that. It's my claim, so if he dies before I press it, it doesn't go anywhere, right? Hold on. I don't mean to keep going back and forth here, but yeah. Will not be inherited unless pressed in war. So I have to do this now or we lose it. I don't know why I keep clicking on him. There we go. Send it. Let's call up my forces of 3,800 there, and I have the money, so I'll call up the Legion. It's only 43 to hire them, so it's really not that bad. If everybody could... Oh, 1,000 of my troops are down here, though. Hopefully I can win with the numbers there. I'm going to disband these guys. I don't want to wait for them to march over here, so if everybody could meet right there, that'd be great. hustle on over. And as they march on over there, I think we're going to go ahead and pause here and end the episode. Actually, I'm going to call in my allies before I forget to do that. But we're going to end it here. It's been about 30 minutes, so it's a good stopping point. And we'll continue this war in the next episode, and hopefully we'll have a change of hands in terms of our ruler in the next episode as well, because if he gets too old and dies before he can inherit this, or if he just is too old to really take advantage of these claims, that could be a real shame for us. So I'd prefer not to do that or have that happen, but obviously there's only so much I can do about it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time playing some Crusader Kings 2 with you, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next episode.